Joining us on the dais now from South Carolina, head coach Don Staley, student athletes Allisha Gray and Asia Wilson. We'll take questions for the student athletes first, please. Please raise your hand, wait for a microphone. We'll start right here.
Margot Gill with Swish Appeal, and this is for Asia. They were obviously very physical with you out there. So how did you remain physical tough, but also mentally tough as well?
Of course, it was very frustrating. It was very tough to remain tough, but it was something I've seen before. In the SEC, playing in the SEC, I see that kind of every night. So it wasn't anything that I haven't seen. It was just a matter of just this time. It was just kind of frustrating because I felt like I wasn't really in the play offensively. But then, I just kind of remained me, and my teammates really rallied around me and just kind of kept positive thoughts into my mind, and Coach Staley kept positive thoughts into my mind, and I think that really kind of helped me overcome just kind of the way the game was going for me.
Question back here.
Asia, Howard Mandel, Vice Sports. Curious about two things. One, what did you see out of the double teams? What were you able to recognize? It seemed like you were able to make decisions to help you get to the basket, especially in the second half. And there was a spot where it was a 50-50 ball that came your way, and you were able to explode to the basket. It put you guys up 45-40, and that seemed to give you more flow over the remainder of the game. Was that the case?
Yeah, I think so. It's very tough when you have kind of three people around you and you see that your teammate is open, but you really just can't get it there the way that you want it. So, of course, it's frustrating because I see it and I just can't get there. But, I just kind of let the game come to me, honestly. I try to get every loose ball without fouling. I just try to just find a way for us to get the possession. And if it was that 50-50 ball, then so be it. And I think that really kind of gave me the momentum to kind of say, okay, we're going to be okay, and just kind of push through.
Question right here.
Cedric Bailey with the Levita News. This is for Ms. Gray. Y'all only scored 6 points in the second quarter. And, of course, what did Coach Staley say to you guys to come out in the third quarter to take over that lead midway through the third?
She was basically like our energy was down, so we just needed to play to our tempo and start pushing tempo. And once we did that, we got on our run, and we was able to go on our 13-0 run.
Question over here on the side.
Yeah, Asia, when you're getting double and triple teamed like that and you're having trouble just getting a look at the basket, do you count on the defense and on the rebounding and the other stuff? I think you led the team in assists as well. Do you kind of look to do all that other stuff and maybe just say, okay, now the offense will come to you?
Yeah, most definitely. I just kind of let the game come to me in whichever category it is on the stat sheet. I just really just want to make an impact on my team any way I can. Tonight, obviously, it was kind of rebounding. I kind of shocked myself with that. But it goes to show, you just it goes to show that, you just got to find a different way in the game that you can impact your team. And I think rebounding kind of stuck out to me, and I just tried to get every ball that I could.
Question over here.
Lindsay Jones from USA Today. Asia, yesterday you were kind of telling us about what you were telling your teammates after your Final Four from 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. So given that experience from 2 years ago, what does it mean to now get to a championship game?
Oh, I can't even put into words the feeling that I have right now. This is a very special team, and I feel like we've earned this spot that we're in now. And we know that we're not done, but just the feeling of just making history at your school is just something really special, especially with the game of women's basketball. And we're kind of putting South Carolina on the map right now, and I think it's just a great feeling for us. I think we're blessed, and we're really honored to be in this situation.
Question right here in the aisle.
Cheryl Coward, hoopfeed.com. Tara Vanderveer said that she felt that Don probably challenged you to come out and play better in the second half. You had 11 rebounds in the second. Was that the case?
I don't think she necessarily challenged us. I think that just kind of came from within. We knew that we had to go out and get every possession, and I know Coach said in our huddle was, we got to treat every possession like it's our last, and that's what you have to do at this time of the year. And I think that's something that we really kind of, it struck hard to us, and we knew we had to get the ball and earn our possessions and keep our possessions. So I think we did a pretty good job of doing that.
We have time for one more for the student athletes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
They'll be available in the locker room until 9:23.
Ricky Rubio.
We'll take questions for Coach Staley. We'll start here in the back.
Prentice Beverly, Blue Star Media. Dawn, I think earlier one of the questions to one of the players when they asked about the poor shooting in the first half. I guess the question is, when you were at 25% shooting, did you feel fortunate to only be down 9 points?
First of all, I just want to say that, to God be the glory that we're in this position to play for a national championship. Something that is so very hard to do. And sometimes when your kids play on this stage, they don't quite come out and execute like, they have in their minds, like we prepped. We knew exactly what Stanford was going to do to us. They were going to sag on us. They were going to force us to take some outside shots. And they forced us to play at a speed in which benefited them. And when you're playing at that speed, you don't have any fluidity to what you're doing on the offensive end. And if you're not creating it by pushing the ball down the floor, by changing speeds, you're not going to make great shots because they're not even shots that you practice at the speed that you practice at. So we were fortunate to be down 9, but I just wanted to get our kids to the locker room at halftime because I knew no matter how many points that we were down, we can utilize our speed to get back into play, whether that's trapping in the half court, whether that's picking up full court, whether that's coming off ball screens and setting our players up in positions where they could be effective. Timeouts weren't long enough to get our message across. So we need to get it, we need to get into halftime to, kind of exhale a little bit.
Any other questions right here?
Dawn, obviously, offensively, there was a difficulty getting into a rhythm, but it seemed like defensively you were doing a lot of what you would set out to do and knocking them off the three-point line and making sure that every shot was a tough shot. Did you feel like the team throughout this game was performing to the defensive expectation you'd set?
And that is exactly why, we're built our reputation on defense because you're going to have bad shooting nights at times. This was one of them. If we didn't, hold Stanford to 29 points, which is, not bad. It's not bad. I thought we did what we needed to do from a defensive standpoint. A lot of what they got from an offensive standpoint was because of our shots. We had some imbalance on the offensive end that created easy buckets for them in transition. But then the second half, I thought we just imposed our will from a defensive standpoint, sped the game up, and got playing at a pace in which benefited our style of play.
Question over here on the left.
Hi, Livy Sefton from Swish Appeal. So you guys have kind of a thing about bouncing back. You've done it throughout the season from injuries. It's kind of a next man up mentality. What is it about you guys that gives you so much resilience, and do you think it will give you an edge in the next game?
Well, we feel like we're always going to be in the game for the league that we played in, the SEC. It is a tough league. So we've been in, familiar situations that we don't fret it. We don't get down on ourselves. We just find a way. And our team has an incredible focus on the end result. The stuff in between is going to happen. Runs are going to happen. Bad shots are going to happen. Turnovers are going to happen. But we hang our hats on being able to control some of the tempo that happens out there. And I think a good mark of I think a good team, can bounce back from any adverse situation in the game. And I thought our team has done that throughout the season.
Question here in the aisle.
Hi, Dawn. Sue Favor, Women'sHoopsWorld.com. What was it like playing against a coach that you know so well? Did that make any difference in the game and how you plan for the game? And then what does it mean to you to beat Tara after having played for her so long ago and being mentored by her?
I think leading up to the game, you think about, all the wonderful, things that we've accomplished together. And I also think about the things in which, Tara, we text, we call, we talk to each other throughout the season. And she's been, one of my biggest supporters since I've been into coaching. And she's what's right for women's basketball. She wants younger coaches to have success in this league. I can't thank her enough. But then you start thinking about, they throw up statistics on the, television screen, like I think 0 for 5 coaching against her. And you think, at some point, the law of averages should play out at some point. But once the game started, I didn't really look at it as Tara Vanderveer. We tell our players, our opponents are nameless and faceless. We need to go out there, because if you start playing the name and you start playing the face, and you start playing the tradition, I think it overwhelms you. So we don't, we just approach it like they're any other opponent, so we don't get ahead of ourselves.
Question right here in the blue.
Don Stephen Hawkins with the AP. Asia talked about it was tough, staying tough with everything that was going on. But what does it do for you guys when she is able to do that? And obviously, like she said, she took her game to a different level when she couldn't, score the points she'd want to do and things like that.
Well, Asia's, she's come a long way as far as handling physicality. And we know that teams are going to, wall up and smother her. I didn't think she handled the double teams or the triple teams well tonight. But she found a way to impact the game other ways, and that's, getting in there and rebounding the basketball. If we don't have her contributions on the boards, we're not playing on Sunday night. But really proud of how she stuck in there and hung in there and not, got down on herself, because she found herself in familiar grounds, playing in the SEC and seeing so many different looks like that. You tend to figure out, maybe it's not my night from an offensive standpoint. Let me go try to impact it somewhere else.
Time for one more question right down here. I'm sorry, we have 2 more. We'll take one here and then down here.
Nicole Fye, Swish Appeal. With losing Elena to that nagging ankle injury, how much of is it initiative that Asia Wilson has stepped up like she has?
I think with Asia knowing that she didn't have her, her partner in crime for the remaining of the season, I think she kind of exhaled a little bit, and she figured out ways in which she can still impact the game. We've moved her around and allowed her to, kind of control the paint. And, she's taken the approach of, keep it moving forward. Let's do it for Elena. She's not able to help us out physically, so let's make sure that we give her every opportunity to get another ring, because Elena Coach likes rings. She wears all her rings all the time on every finger. So we want to add one more to the collection.
Question right down here.
Hi there, Coach Leah Frazier-Dixon with After the Whistle. You guys seemed slightly sluggish in the last 2 minutes of the second quarter. Then you regained the lead at about 3:25. It never looked back. What do you think was the biggest difference? What adjustment did you make at halftime?
The biggest adjustment was, speeding up the game. We couldn't play at that pace. And shoot the ball the way we were shooting the ball. We had to figure out a way in which to create some easy buckets in transition. So I thought we pressured the ball, when we came out of the halftime, and then during the middle of the third quarter, when they got settled in with how we were playing, we went to a zone. And I thought the zone bothered them a little bit, forced them to take some outside shots, and they missed a lot of shots in the third quarter that we capitalized on. So, and that was all because the pace of the game changed.
Any other questions? Great, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
South Carolina's locker room will be open until 9:23. Please stick around. It is my pleasure now to introduce the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, class of 2017, momentarily.